Welcome into Horse Talk Season 2. This is our season finale, joined today by Jeff's Gaming Supply. Jeff, thanks so much for coming on. Nice collection behind you, man.
Oh, thank you for having me. Yeah, so I just wanted to prove to people I'm not just a scumbag. I do collect too, but still 90% scumbag reseller.
Yeah,
And
how
I
long
do
have you
love
been?
this stuff.
How long have you been a scumbag, and how long have you been a collector?
Oh, man. So, scumbag, probably, let's see, I'm 39. So I'd say probably 30 years or so. So I started reselling games actually when I was a kid. I used to set up a little table outside of my house and flip games when a new game would come out. I'd I'd sell games to kids in the neighborhood and then use that money to go to Funko Land to buy games that I wanted. So I've always kind of bought and resold, but I was never really a big collector, probably until honestly, probably 2018, 2019, after I had kids. I wanted to get back into it, kind of show them what dad grew up with. And then I got addicted to a show called The Game Chasers. If any
Oh,
of you are
nice.
familiar, got really addicted to it. And that kind of made me want to go all in. So I really started collecting. And then COVID hit and obviously made the prices all go crazy. But that's when things kind of turned around on the reselling front. I ended up buying some GameCube games off a buddy of mine for $500, and that's how I started. I flipped my way to this collection and all the inventory that you guys see on stream. So this whole Jeff's Gaming Supply venture started with $500.
Dude,
So it's
not
crazy.
bad. I can't say the same, unfortunately. Uh, it was kind of like that's easy to just swipe, so I'm just gonna
Right,
keep
right,
swiping, right?
right.
Uh, Well, cool, man. Well, thanks for joining us tonight. Me and you have obviously never talked before, so a lot of
No.
people think that this stuff is all staged and everything else, but we've never had a conversation. You probably never even seen my face before. I've seen your face because I'm always watching you in your garage
No,
as
and
well. So,
I've popped into your shows, and obviously I did. I actually, how I got introduced to you was the Pookie episode.
okay.
Um, and so I watched his. Obviously, he's a good buddy of mine, and then I watched as much of Andy's as I could. I was ended up being at the movies while that was going on, but I actually went
Yeah.
back and watched a lot of it just to kind of see what to expect. And obviously, Andy's another good pal of mine, so wanted to see what his answers were. But uh, but yeah, no, I was excited to do this. I having these conversations is kind of a new thing for me. But it's something I've been wanting to do, and I know Pookie now is wanting to get into the podcast game, and I think it's really important that the people. I guess we're always talking about community, that the community gets to know the sellers a little bit better and um, see kind of a different side of us, which I like. And we got to see a whole different side of Andy. He wasn't just fucking doing this for an hour and a half,
Yeah.
and he was in a suit, and so. Like I said, I think it's important that people get to know us on a more personal level, and that's why I'm a big fan of showing your face on stream, because I think it builds a better connection with the audience. And so, yeah, these talks are important because at least I dressed up. I
Dude,
did too.
Andy,
I'm in my best Blink 182 shirt.
Andy absolutely killed it on the dress.
He
I
did.
knew,
He did.
look, I knew something was coming with that Andy episode. I didn't know if he's going to be on the treadmill or if he's going to come in a tuxedo or
He's
he was
a
going to be
wild
naked.
man.
He's going to be naked as well. So, that was cool. I see you got some N64 behind you, some GameCube as well. Dude, you got the Wii U. So I thought I was the only person that collected Wii U. So I
Yeah,
have the whole set.
I
Um,
actually collect. So I got into that. I think mainly for monetary reasons. I don't have any. I mean, like most of you, I don't have any like childhood nostalgia. I mean, obviously, I was in college when it came out, but or past college. What am I saying? But I start collecting it because I think it's the most attainable full set of any
mhm.
console out there. Right, once you get Devil's Third, it's all easy from there. So,
Yeah.
which I don't have, unfortunately, but. I was fun for like 10 days. I thought I'm just gonna try collecting Wii U and see what can happen. And a lot of this is sealed, but then I just got kind of bored of it because I don't really like any any of the games on it. And
Yeah.
you start to kind of feel that like the urge to do it kind of dwindles when you don't have any attachment to any of the games. So
Hmm.
I kind of just stopped, but it's still fun. I mean, it's I mean probably the one that I care about most is there's a bunch of pills. I thank God you guys can't see that on camera. Um, is this guy right here? That's sealed. So this is probably one I'll never sell just because I'm a big Zelda guy. And
Is that the Wolf Link?
yes,
Nice.
And so I was able to get that. And so that's like my prized Wii U piece.
Yeah, I think I've got the Ganondorf one that's like that, or similar to. I had never played a Wii U game, and I was like, I'm just gonna collect the whole set, and
Right, right.
I just did it. But I've always kind of liked oddball things, so we always talk about like the second game in all the NES series. So Zelda 2, even though Mega Man 2 wasn't an oddball, it's always the twos that I really enjoyed.
Sure.
Mario 2, like the games that most people didn't like, but like when I actually heard so much hate about Wii U, it actually drove me to collect it. Because I was like, they all hate it. What if it's actually really good? But then I started realizing like Breath of the Wild came out on Wii U. Mario Kart 8 came out on Wii U. There's like good games
There's a
that were
lot of
on
really
Wii
good
U, just
games.
nobody had the console or nobody liked the console.
I think it's I've always called it Nintendo Sega Saturn. It's kind of like the underdog that no one appreciates, but I think later people are going to start to appreciate it more. And I mean, and I'll probably end up being one of those people that do. But like you said, it's just getting a full set so easy, and I like that level of attainability when it comes to a console because I think it's almost impossible to get a full set. And this is the one that's easy. A Devil's Third has been wild, right? It rose to like $700 for a CIB copy, and now it's back down to like 200 or 300 sealed.
Mhm.
So it's really, really, really attainable. But yeah, I don't know. One of these days I'll actually plug it in and play it. I think for right
Dude,
now
you
it's
got to
just
play it.
I know.
We were playing a Star Fox game the other day. I don't know if it's Assault or which one it is. I see you probably have it back there, but
Mhm.
the Star
Okay.
Fox game was pretty good. The Mario 3D World is awesome. It's a really good game as
Yeah.
well. I don't know if that one came. I think that one might have been DS or 3DS first
Sure. Sure.
potentially, but we played that one quite a bit. And then we just been playing a lot of Wii Sports on there, even though it's not Wii U. It's just
Right.
Wii, but
Right.
it's still versatile. My
Got to
kid
do the
just
Wii
figured
bowling.
out Wii Sports, dude, and he's 4 years old. He bowled a one. What he bowled 181 yesterday on Wii
Nice.
Sports.
Nice.
2 days in, I'm like, I may as well not even try. I mean, geez, 4 years old.
Wii Sports is a phenomenon. I mean, the fact that it keeps rising in value, yet there's a zillion of them that exist,
Hmm.
is just crazy. But everybody loves Wii bowling, me included. I am a bowler in real life, and I still love Wii bowling.
Oh, that's cool, man. I
Yeah.
bowled quite a bit competitively when I was in college.
Oh, nice.
I got to a point though where it just like it hurt too much. I had a lot of pain like in this area of my
Right, right.
arm, and I just quit. So I was a golfer and a bowler. I
Nice.
think my entire life has been all the alternative things, you know.
Same.
They're like, "What Mario do you like?" I'm like, "Mario 2." They're like, "No." They're like, "What Mario do you like?" I'm like, "Mario 2." "What Zelda do you like?" "Zelda 2." Kind of going back and forth on that. So,
Sure, sure.
have you owned a game store? Or have you just been reselling on the side, or what?
No, so
How'd you got here?
I've always been an online seller. I mean, and again, this dates back to like 2001. I told this story on the Farming Pitzel podcast the other day, but I started helping out when I was about 14. I started helping out at this local game store. I'd ride my bike there. I was obsessed with this place, and I had started talking about eBay. So again, I was like 13, 14, and I started talking about eBay, and he heard me talking about it. And he one day when I rode my bike in, he goes, "Hey, I have some stuff I want you to sell for me." I said, "Okay, what is it?" He had a full US Neo Geo AES collection.
Wow.
Um,
Okay.
so here I am, like, again, 14, like, "Oh yeah, what are these worth? Like $50?" And he started
Yeah.
laughing. So he goes, "I need you to get your parents in here." So we brought my parents in, they signed a contract. And again,
Mm,
I'm still like, what the fuck is going on? Why are we
yeah.
doing like it's just video games? And so I remember him kind of giving me a sheet of what he wanted me to list everything at. And I remember listing Metal Slug 2 for like 15K, and it sold in like 3 days. I'm
Oh
just like,
wow.
what is going on? And again, my parents are obviously handling all the money. I'm not doing any of that. I was just simply listing the game and doing that part of it. But he gave me a whole bunch of credit in the store, so I was able to just go and get whatever I wanted. But that's kind of how things started. And then I mean, even before I started collecting, I was a 10 to 15 item a day lister on eBay for a long time. So it's always been a side business for me. And then I didn't get into Whatnot till, boy, I mean, I didn't officially start selling until May of 24, but CXL's coming. But I was on the app for a while. I used to buy from Satoshi. I know that's kind of polarizing, but I bought a lot from him, some other sellers, but I never thought I could sell. I just didn't think it was for me, and here we are, and it's just proof that you don't know until you try. I would have
Do
never thought this shit was possible.
For
Um,
for for sure, man. Are you still doing eBay and stuff, or just whatnot?
yeah, not as much. I list every now and then, but Whatnot's just so lucrative. It's so nice, just like right instead of having to list or take pictures and shit, I just go like that, yell and scream at the camera, and I make money. So it's so much easier than eBay, and it's tough. And it's kind of changed the way I source and everything. I used to kind of follow that if it's worth under 15 bucks or less. What's up, Shocks? Worth under 15 bucks or less, I wouldn't even bother. Just enter my death pile and stack up, stack up. But Whatnot makes those death pile games possible because even if it sells for $2, $3, it's like you're not doing any work. Who cares? You just do that and then you just add it to somebody's package. So it's just so much more lucrative selling on here that eBay's kind of fallen by the wayside. But there are certain things that like I came across a huge Intellivision lot the other day, and I knew there's ain't no way I'm even trying to sell that on here. So I listed all that on eBay, and it sold really well. So it kind of just depends on the items. Like I have some Neo Geo CD games randomly just sitting here. These would never go on Whatnot, even though I think if Foxy's in here, I think I randomly sold one to him.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I don't think anybody's buying Neo Geo CD games on Whatnot. So
That aligns pretty closely to what I do as well. At first, it was everything on Whatnot. eBay was first, but then I shut that down and was just like, I'm just gonna do Whatnot. And Nintendo does really well, but PlayStation never did really well. So, and then I got a big PS2 lot in, and it blew away real fast. I'm like, oh, maybe I should be PS2, and then that kind of went away a little bit too. But it seems like Nintendo on Whatnot is definitely king, from what I can
especially
tell.
NES.
Yeah,
NES is absolutely king.
for sure. And it kind of makes you wonder too, like, are we just 5 to 10 years out on, Super Nintendo or N64 dominating? Now, it was really interesting when Analog came out because N64 went through the roof when
It's
Analog
crazy.
came
It's
out.
wild. It's absolutely
So,
wild what N64 is doing right now. It's
yeah.
crazy.
But maybe I also think about it too is like I hear some stories too. It's like, yeah, my first console was an N64 or a GameCube. Some of the bigger streamers also talk about that stuff as well.
Mhm.
But it still seems like NES always. I guess NES did it different. It was the first thing to truly be different, and maybe it
Sure.
always will be. But I have noticed a few things. So, like 20-year anniversaries of consoles tend to make spikes in market. So, Wii is going through that currently.
Hmm.
And I was laughing with one of my buddies. I was like, hey, I'm going to go buy like every $2 Wii game I can find, like every single one of them, get hundreds and hundreds of them. And he's like, you're insane. I'm like, yeah, probably. But let's just see what it does in like 3 months. And sure enough, it's been pretty decent. Makes you kind of wonder, is Wii U the next phase of that in like 2, 3 years? And keep going on. But NES never seems to fade. It just kind of stays
Most
awesome all the time.
most consistent. It's the only thing. Ryan and I have always talked about it. It's the only item or I guess item library we'll sell, and like when we go to source it, we're not worried at all. We buy a lot of lots where I'll have a few concerns like I don't know. But when it comes to if we get a big NES lot handed to us or that gets posted, I'm usually a bit more aggressive trying to get it because I know even the like double dribbles and the games that won't sell for shit on eBay do pretty damn well on here. Even if they go for $4 or $5, that's solid because I ain't getting that on eBay. So,
That's true.
and you have to put in more work. So, it's just always done really, really well. I think for every seller on here, it's kind of like the retro Switch, right? Like Switch does so well on Whatnot, but Switch and NES are the two that I just don't think if you're a reseller trying to source NES and Switch, mainly NES because Switch is whatever. But I
Switch has
like
got a
Switch, but
lot of titles, man. There's
I
so
hate,
many titles.
but
But
I hate.
the average cost on Switch games is pretty high,
Yeah, it is.
considering.
That's what I was going to say is that the margins on Switch games are so unbelievably thin that it's just not worth it to me. And that's why I get asked why I don't source much Switch, and that's why
Sure.
I can't do the normal Jeff lowballing on Facebook Marketplace because everyone the quote knows what they have, and they go on
Yeah.
GameStop and like, oh, GameStop selling for $60, so I want 40. No, but anyway, I won't do it. One day I'll get into it, but not anytime soon.
One topic I was thinking about earlier that I thought would be interesting to cover is like when you source and you buy, like, do you have pricing tiers depending on like what type of item? So, hey, it's NES carts. I'm going to pay X percent, or it's PS1, I'm going to pay this. Like, how do you go through that in your head when you see a lot?
So I'm going to piss off a lot of people with this, and it is what it is. I don't really care. Um, let you in on a little of my secret. Ryan knows what I'm about to say. When it comes to carts, I try to stick to $5 a cart, regardless of what's there. I used to, when I was reselling mainly on eBay, it used to be more of a percentage driven thing where it'd be, in that normal 50% tier, kind of regardless of what the person was selling. But I've noticed what's worked best for me and has been the most profitable on Whatnot is try to get a lot for $5 a cart and $3 a CIB disc game, regardless of console, regardless of anything, regardless of condition. That's why you see me with no manuals all the time, because I'm just factoring in, well, I only paid $3 for it, so whatever. And that obviously doesn't happen all the time. There's many occurrences where I'll make that offer based on that pricing, and I get blasted and get called a
Yeah.
scumbag and a piece of shit. I mean, it happens every day. I think I average getting blocked on Marketplace by 3 or 4 people a week. But it's just how I've always sourced, and I
Yeah.
just don't care. I don't feel anything. When I lowball somebody, I don't have a gun to their head. They can just say no and
Right.
move on with our life, or we counter negotiate. But I've just never had that, like, I don't know, like, oh, you're supposed to offer this. It's just when we shake hands, we shake hands. So, I've always said if I walked up to a garage sale and there's a little Samson for $5, I'm paying the $5 and I'm leaving. If they ask me what, to make an offer, then I'll offer obviously a good amount. But if I'm paying somebody else's price, I literally could give a fuck. It's not
Yeah.
my job to teach people what their stuff is worth. And I've never understood, I see these comments on YouTube videos of people like, you're a scumbag, you should have offered more. But no, I mean, if they just want to get rid of it, they want to get rid of it. Who cares? But it's wild to me how mad people get. So anyway,
No, man, that's
yeah, we're
a
choosing
good
this
way to
one.
look at it. So like when you're going through Marketplace, you can pretty much say, hey, that's $85 for me, that's $35 for me, really fast without having to look up a bunch of stuff. Because look,
Oh yeah,
sometimes just the time to look it up and make an offer, you lose the
horrendous.
opportunity to even get it.
Well, and so like Ryan and I, it's funny you say that because it actually happened this week where a big collection was posted, and Ryan and I actually, because it was a lot of money, we tried to go out and do it together, and we wasted time adding everything up. I mean, he was a collector, so he knew what he had, so we had to be a little bit more, I guess, normal. We had to go, we used
Yeah.
Game Eye and went through everything, but we spent a lot of time pricing it out, adding things up, just for him to say, I got a better offer. Goodbye. And
Dude.
it happens all the time. And so that's why, again, Whatnot's kind of opened that up for me where I can source a lot differently. Again, I think if you're just listing on eBay, don't take any of this advice at all. Not that this is advice anyway, but doing $5 a carts and $3 a game is not going to work for you on eBay. I think it works for Whatnot and for primarily $1 start sellers like me,
Yeah.
because again, it's so fast that you just don't care. Even if you're making a couple of bucks a game, it's worth it. But again, if you're just doing eBay or Mercari, I think going off a percentage is going to net you more money than what I'm doing. So
Well,
it just
dude,
all depends.
soon as we're done, I'm gonna make you a 150 cart lot. And I want $5 a piece for all of these games. And
Deal,
every one of them is play action football.
deal.
Uh,
Let's do it.
it's gonna be awesome. This will be the best deal I ever did.
I
Man,
love
I'm
it.
like I'm looking across and I'm like Top Gun,
Hey,
play
Top
action
Gun does good.
football, Major League Baseball. Like I got you at least 100 carts
I love
right
it.
then and there.
I
So
love it.
so if you saw that lot on Marketplace, would you even look through the titles or would you just quickly say $100?
I quickly just lowball.
Okay.
Just hope, and hope the
Okay.
person says yes. Yeah, I'm the asshole that people get mad at where I do the high is it still available, and then I'll respond again and say I'm interested. But because that's another thing I've never understood is why people get so triggered by the high is this available, because I have encountered a lot of lots that it's not available even though it's still posted.
Mm,
But it's funny how many people are like, I won't respond to that. But why? You're losing out on a sale. But I don't
man.
know. It's weird.
Marketplace. So I don't know what state you're in. I'm in Louisiana, so is Neto.
I'm in
Marketplace
California.
is freaking ruthless here. I'm
Mm-hmm.
talking ruthless. An item could post, and 5 minutes later, they have 25 offers and 3 people driving to their house. Like it's literally like that.
Crazy.
But what's crazy is you post something that you want to sell, and you get, you know, a bunch of 25% offers
Yep.
on it, which is really weird. Dude, I had a deal one time. It was a 3DS in the box, new 3DS XL. 6 a.m. I messaged a lady, hey, I'll buy it for your. She was asking 175. It was like in the box, right?
Mm.
She wrote, I don't know if this works. So I was like, you know what? I'll take it. That's cool. I said, hey, I'll get in my truck right now and drive to you. I'll pay you cash. She's like, yeah, sounds great. I was like, hey, and just a heads up, I've had like 4 of these deals, like to where the person said yes, and then I start driving there and they change their mind. Uh, are we good? She's like, 100% we're good. Dude, I get in my truck, I shit you not. 4 minutes later, she's like, hey, I just got an offer for 250.
Oh no, I
And
hate
I
that
was
so much.
like, what happened to the 175? She's like, well, look, if you can match the 250, you can come get it. I was like,
So
okay.
annoying.
I said, okay, but I'm going to show up at your house regardless of whether you sell this to me or not. And you're going to have to talk to me if not. She's like, well, it's for my kid's garage sale for a trip. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's fine. Anyway, I got it. It was a beautiful console. I think it ended up selling for almost $500. It was a great deal for them, great deal for me. But
Sure.
just you can't blame people for trying to get the most out of their item. Like I was trying not to do that. But I will say this. When you tell a person it's 100% yours, come get it, 3 minutes later, you can't change that. Like you
Yep.
got to let them come and like go, you know? So I was about to lose it. And I got there and I talked to her and I was like, hey, I was like, you sell a lot on Marketplace? She's like, I don't ever sell on Marketplace. I was like, okay, like I understand where you're coming from, but like I literally got up, I got dressed, I didn't even feed my kids breakfast that morning. I was like, hey, my wife, you got to do that. I was like, people are like, they're counting on you. So if you make a deal, like try to stick to it.
Uh-huh.
And she was cool with it. I think it maybe taught her a little bit, but she also learned too that she can just get more money, just wait for more offers,
Right, right.
which makes marketplace a little bit wild here. I really, it's my least favorite way of sourcing. So I've actually had the best sourcing with just letting my friends know that I'm looking for this stuff, and they just
Sure.
go all over town and they like
Let
send
them
me a
do the
picture
work.
from the pawn shop. They're like, hey, this
Yeah.
pawn shop's got this. You want it? And that's where
There's
most of my
so
stuff's
many.
coming in.
Yeah, there's so many ways to source. I mean, it's crazy. But before we get into that, I kind of have a similar story where this was pretty early on. I want to say probably in 2021 or 2022 on OfferUp, which I would highly recommend to a lot of you. Ryan, Josh, and Foxy stay off. They're local to me, so I don't want them in my on my app. Anyway, OfferUp's a great great tool if you're not in Northern California. Anyway, this guy had posted a bunch of complete in box SNES games, and we agreed on a price. I drove 40 minutes to West Sacramento, and I remember as I pulled into the lot, he was selling the games to somebody else. And now I'm 5'6", the least intimidating person on earth, but I just felt like all the fucking rage. And I rolled down my window and said, "What the fuck?" And he turned around and goes, "Oh, I got a better offer." And I just said, "Fuck you," and drove off. But I wanted to, like, I felt it. I wanted to get out and fight the guy. But again, I'm nothing. I'm a
Yeah,
scrawny
dude,
5'6".
it's hard. I actually had a buddy call me today. He's like, hey, guess what happened? And I sold on Marketplace for like a month. I'm like, I'm gonna sell some consoles on Marketplace. I have like 50 consoles. I'm just gonna start selling them on Marketplace. Dude comes to my house, Super Nintendo. I took actual pictures of the actual Super Nintendo. It wasn't perfect. It had some yellowing and whatever, but it played well. He comes to my house. I plug it in literally on the tailgate. I bring my portable charger, device or whatever. I plug it in
Mm.
with a little screen. I let him play it for 5 minutes, show him everything, let him look through all my games, whatever. Talk to him for an hour on my driveway. Thought it was like, man, that's the best service ever. Nobody's gonna like plug this shit in on their tailgate to let you play it.
Mm.
And come to find out, he went to my buddy's house 3 months later, and he's like, "Yeah, I wouldn't buy from him again." I'm like, "Why?" And then he's
Wow.
like, "Well, the AV stopped working." I'm like, "Well,
Oh
why didn't he
God.
text me or call me or tell
Right.
me? It's probably just a freaking AV cable. It's $2. I give you a new one.
Right.
Like, no big deal."
That's ridiculous.
He's like, "Well, the console also like didn't look as good as the pictures." I'm like, "Bro, you were on my driveway looking at it. Like it's right there." So I don't
That's
know. I
crazy.
lost my mind. I was like, and my buddy was like, "Yeah, no good deed goes unpunished." And I'm like, the more I
Mhm.
keep thinking about that, it's like he's right. of like, man, I went through to the ends of the earth on this SNES for $90. For $90,
Right.
I probably made $12 on it, and just to get blasted 3 months later
That's
on a side
crazy.
note to a buddy. So my buddy was actually cool about it. He told the dude, he's like, dude, I don't think that's what happened.
Right. No, not
So
at all.
he's like, I've seen the guy's stuff. I've been in his cabin before. He's like, he's not gonna show you one thing and sell you another thing. I'm like, yeah.
Right.
And if I do, it was an accident. Just let me know, you know.
We,
So
we call that user error all
yeah,
day.
man. Jeff, were you on Pookie's stream earlier? I saw Pookie right
For
there.
a little bit, yeah. He
Yeah.
motherfucker streams while I'm at work, so it's hard for me to get in there. But I pop in every now and then. But I saw Russ. I saw your rant. That was awesome.
Yeah, I was curious of what happened exactly, and if you knew what happened, and love to shout out negative things at somebody if
I
possible.
I think it's Oklahoma Picker. I don't mind talking about him because he causes a lot of ruckus in a lot of people's streams. But I guess he's streaming under. Is it Pookie? Is it the Faceless Streamer or something? Is that
Yep.
his new name? But he's caused a lot of problems, and we actually have a funny story where I've said this a million times. I don't block anybody just because I kind of like chaos and I think it's funny. And so unless you really do something bad, I just kind of let things happen. And so Pookie one time on one of my shows sponsored a game, and Oklahoma Picker won it, and I ended up laughing about it for about 20 minutes because it was just perfect because I know Pookie does not like him, and he ended up winning his sponsor, which was awesome. But yeah, it sounds like he's just caused. He has a lot of failed payments. I mean, even things that are a buck, it's like failed payment, and people don't understand how annoying it is being a seller and having that happen because it fucks everything up. We have to skip the item. We have to wait to see if it sells, and
Hmm.
it just sucks. And early on, I want to say it was like my second or third stream ever. I didn't really know how it worked, so I had a failed payment, and I just ran it again right away. Well, that person wrote me a message blasting me. He's like, "You motherfucker! I was trying to fix my payment." Blah blah blah. I was like, "I don't know. Like, just I don't know. Have it work.
Yeah.
Test it beforehand. It's not
I
my
uh
problem."
I literally turned on the stream in mid rant, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? Uh but my first intuition is to press screen record.
Right.
My second intuition is let me listen to this because I'm curious, but I was just curious what actually happened in that
It's so
stream. And I
hard
was
to
like,
make.
damn, look at Pookie getting out at this guy. I was like, this is exactly what I expected because Pookie reminds me of all of my uncles,
Right,
every single
right.
one of them.
He's
Because
the
me and
best.
Pookie are only a couple hours down the road from each other,
Mhm.
and my uncle's names, if this tells you anything, names like Wendell and Reuben and very French coon ass names. So
Oh, that's
that's what we
awesome.
call them down here anyway. Nobody probably knows what I'm talking about other than Pookie, but
Russ is a great guy, and he's so hard to make upset, and somehow Oklahoma Picker achieved that. So well done to him. You pissed off the nicest guy
yeah,
on Whatnot.
damn dude, that's crazy.
Yeah,
I've seen the guy's show once or twice, but I don't know anything about him. So
sure, sure.
uh, it's
He said fuck that.
yeah. So how long have you been on Whatnot now? How many years has it been?
So we just celebrated 2 years. So I started May of 24.
Are
First stream
you
ever.
are you experiencing the same thing as me? Is where like you only want to watch your buddy shows and nothing else, or do you can still go through like everybody?
Mainly my friends. I don't really watch anybody anymore. I think because I'm exhausted a lot, and when you stream, it I don't know. Fatigue really comes into play where it's like I
Hmm.
just and I watch back almost every one of my streams in full just to see where I fucked up, where I could be better. And by then, I just want to break. But I'll hop in for a bit and support my friends. And I'll go into Caden's stream for a little bit, and but it's hard for me to like sit and watch a stream, including my own, from front to back. It's a long time, and I have bad ADHD, so it's like all I think about is I could be playing a game right now or being more productive, and so I'll have people on in the background. I think somebody like Andy, I think it's easy for me to watch his whole show because it's shorter, and same with like Exiled Punk. They kind of do more. They're kind of like me in the regard that they do shorter shows, and at least with Andy, he's dancing the whole time, so it's fun. But for everybody else, like it's hard, and that's why I just pop in every now and then, and I'll pop out, and then I'll come back, and That's what I've always done. But fatigue definitely plays a role in it when you're a streamer. I think before I started selling, I'd sit in Satoshi streams for hours, but those days are long gone. I know he's a well loved person probably in this chat. So
I've seen that show one time ever. Hey, I do want to take a second though to thank our sponsors tonight. We do have 3 sponsors for tonight's Horse Talk. Creative Upside, 2 weeks in a row. Appreciate that. Creative Just Thrifting, I think 4th or 5th time sponsoring, and
thanks,
then
y'all.
the Sandman himself as well. Thank you all so much as well. We'll throw out some credits and something cool out of the cabin for you as well. So thank you all so much for
Thank you
supporting.
guys.
Yeah, this is our season finale, man. 14 episodes
Awesome.
in now. I'm still debating on whether Horse Talk will continue after this or not.
Oh, you should definitely do it.
It's one of those things that it's like I love doing it like when it's happening, but the setting up, the editing, the all that stuff's not so much fun. So
Sure.
yeah, it's interesting though. It's kind of fun talking to folks that you don't know as well. Like me and you've never had a conversation, so it's
Sure.
interesting hearing your side and exploring whether you're truly a scumbag reseller or not. Which I think is always good. I mean, look, we're all labeled as scumbag resellers at some
Oh, for
point,
sure.
right? So
Well, and you know,
it's
it's funny because like I got in an argument with somebody the other day on Marketplace, and he said he messaged to me because myself, Adam Shirakin Gaming, Doey7, who's in the chat, I think, and Rhino too, all of us went after this one person in a city about 30 miles from us, and they had a bunch of good shit, and we were all trying to buy the whole thing, obviously. And their response to all of us was, I don't deal with resellers. I don't like resellers. And I said, well, here's the thing: you bought these games at one point, and now you're selling them.
yeah,
So
you're
you're
a
a fucking
reseller.
reseller. And then they
Yeah.
blocked me.
Oh, and I just noticed as well, Bravo also picked up a sponsorship. Bravo Infinite Finds, thank you so much for that. And then
Thank you.
the invite to the big raid train as well. Was happy to get that as well. That was cool.
Right on.
I told Bravo, I was like, I felt like I got asked to the prom for a while. I was kind of wondering what was wrong with me. I was like, well, I didn't get asked. Either way, so my show's a little bit under the radar. We've done auctions, man. We actually did a big Super Nintendo auction this week. We have another one on Tuesday, but the primarily we do Ben, we hang out, we show things. We do
Sure.
get a lot of new stuff in here. I don't really have the heart for auctions. Like I've been through this on a couple different horse talks. It stresses me. And when it
Sure.
starts stressing me, it's not fun. I just don't do it. I'd rather
Sure.
sell
Sure.
5 items and make $10 than sell 500 items and make $10.
Sure.
So, but sometimes we do it. Like the other night I did it, but I put too many items in the damn auction. So like I auctioned like I don't know 40 inbox Super Nintendo games back to back to back to back to back, and then by the time I got to the end of it, I was like, just fucking take it. I don't even want it. Like I just here, just bid whatever. I don't care. So kind of learning the ropes on there. My buddies are all auction shows and they do a fantastic job with it. I haven't quite figured out the mental strategy there. I know the financial strategy. I just don't understand the mental strategy.
I
So
I think
yeah.
a lot of it is so I am a not a big I don't want to say big, but I gamble a lot. I love gambling. It's fun. It's always been a big hobby of mine. And this kind of feeds that I don't even know if I want to call it addiction, even though it probably is at this
It
point,
is.
but as weird as this is to say, like whatnot's kept me out of the casino because it gives me that same like euphoric feeling when a game goes over value. It's almost like I've always said this is for me, it's like gambling where I win most of the time. It's just a matter of how much am I going to win. And so
Hmm.
I think that's why $1 starts always intrigued me because you just never know what something's going to sell for. And again, the way, as you guys heard, the way I source, there's not much at risk for me. Obviously there's going to be some streams that I don't want to say killed or what do the kids say cooked, whatever the
Yeah,
fuck they're all
cooked.
yelling at the audience.
Yeah, you got
So
cooked. Yeah.
so irritating. But anyway, I don't really get I've always said like I don't think I've had a show where I full on lost money, but were there shows where I could have made more? Sure. But again, I've always said it's if you want to do auctions and especially dollar starts, it's all in how you source. If you're
Mhm.
sourcing on whatnot or you're paying 70% of value, you're fucked. Or if you're going the Dusty Games route and buying case packs, we've seen why sellers aren't doing that anymore because the margins are just so incredibly thin that you're gonna end up losing money. So average is cooked 24/7. So yeah, I think it just goes back to how you source, and you can always play it safe. And if you score, like if Kershey's in here, Kershey scored an awesome GameCube lot a while ago, where it was like I don't even think he paid very much, and he did he's there, so he did auctions. But Kershey normally he's kind of like you, he just does a hangout show, but he felt comfortable doing that because he got it low and figured, what the fuck, what's the
Mhm.
worst that can happen? So I think it just average dude tried to get it. So I think it just depends on, again, how you're sourcing. Again, we see it a lot where people are trying to source on whatnot, and I mean, I could talk about that for hours of why I don't understand it or agree with it. I think you should stick to local deals, or even go on marketplace and search for items that can be shipped to you. Just offer, what a strategy that I've built up is, you offer someone to print the label, or like you offer that you'll print the label for them.
Right.
They usually feel more comfortable when you offer that. So there's so many different ways. I've said the one thing I always hear is, there's nothing in my area. Yes, there is. I promise you. One of my biggest scores ever, I messaged somebody who was selling an entertainment center, and another
Mhm.
one was selling a book. You just message it, and while you're talking, just say, hey, by the way, I'm into retro games. Do you have any? I mean, you can't rely on just refreshing marketplace and hoping for 1,000 NES games for $50. It's just not going to happen. So again, it's just, but I'll joke with the chat sometimes, but I don't really feel that like, oh my God, this $50 game just went for $20. I joke it off and then I move on. But I can certainly understand if someone paid a higher margin for that and then they actually lost money. That'd be pretty gnarly. So thankfully, I haven't run into that yet. But
Yeah.
it just depends on what you sell. If I were to sell like this Conquer, which is like my prized possession, if I sold that, which I did actually pay up for, and it went for $100 under PC, you might see a different side of me. So that's why that stays there and doesn't end up on my show.
Yeah.
So it just
I
all
like what
depends.
you said, man. I like what you said about the $15 and under. You just throw those in a tote.
Hmm.
I probably need to do that as well. I buy a lot of lots, just like most sellers do, and I end up with like 20 copies of play action football, and you only need so many of those listed anyway. Maybe it's just better. I've been kind of debating on like, do I just dollar, $2? I don't do dollar starts on anything, honestly, because if it
Sure.
does sell, play action football, it very likely could sell for $1. But at least $2 so you don't get killed with fees and
And
whatever.
the
So
39 cents, I hate that
yeah, and
39
just
cents.
just for everybody watching, if you're not aware, if anything ever sells for $1, you pretty much just gave that for free,
100%. It
because
sucks.
you're getting hit with a transaction fee plus a percentage fee. There's just nothing there. So
Yep.
um,
$100%.
$3 starts, $2 starts, something like that's good. If you got items that are going to go for $20, $30, then $1 is fine, I think, or more.
And
So
I've noticed that bundling them does pretty well too. And I think a lot of it is people. It's hard to justify. If you're running something, let's say a decent cheap game. I'm trying to think of a good let's say like Top Gun on the NES,
yeah,
right?
Top
It's
Gun's a good
it's
one. Yep.
it's hard to justify even paying $1 because you get hit with that $4 in shipping. But
Right.
now if you pair that with a play action football and a double dribble, well, now the person sees it as, okay, well, now I'm getting these 3 games with only $4 in shipping. Now I feel like bidding, because I've noticed that where if I run each of those separate, they're each going for $1. But if I run them together, it goes for like 12. It's a
Hmm.
weird phenomenon, but I think it's that psychological shipping fee that I think messes with the mind, and people think, oh, I don't, this game that's $6 on PC, but I'm paying $5 in shipping. I think that kind of gets to people. So I've found that bundling those cheaper games really does help. But yeah, man, moving through that death pile is tough. I mean, that's how I did when I first started. I did every Tuesday. I called it PS Tuesday, and we just did an all PS2 show. And that was actually how I got rid of my PS2 death pile that had accumulated over like 5 years at that time, where I had thousands of PS2 games, and I just couldn't find a way to sell them. I didn't want to lot them up on eBay. So I thought, you know what? Let's just try this PS Tuesday thing. Let's mix in a couple of heavies to keep the audience there. And it ended up working out. And unfortunately, now
Yeah.
I'm out of PS2 games.
Well, look, I solved the riddle that everybody's probably wondering what would happen, but I ran 3 different free shipping shows
Mhm.
with $1,000 with 1,000 items in the bin on two of them I kind of selected either like really low end or really high end and nothing in between.
Sure.
And then one of them I just said, fuck it, I'm just gonna do the whole bin and let's just see what happens. I will tell y'all now, you will not make money. So I am 1 for 3 on profiting on those. But what's really crazy, so I don't know, man. Maybe it is worth it. So the last one we sold, I think, probably right around like $1,200 worth. And it was like 30, 40 boxes. It was a lot of shipping.
Hmm.
And we went negative $20. However, we moved a ton of $2 and $3 games.
Right.
So I mean, a loss is a loss, but $20 on 1,200 on stuff that's impossible to sell maybe isn't that bad.
It's not that
And
bad. And you know,
so
I've always said it's better to get something for an item sitting on a shelf than nothing, because you're getting $0 by it just sitting, right? So even if you're getting 39 cents, it's better than zero. So and you know, again, and that's where I'm gonna keep going back to this, but why it's so lucrative on Whatnot is that, you know, if it's, I don't know, Exiled Punk buying 50 games, what's another one game to add to his box, right? It's there's no work there. So I think that's what makes it feasible on here
yeah,
is just that. But yeah, man, I think every reseller has a death pile. I think that's just a normal part of it's part of the process. It's why our garages and storage units look like ass. There's just so many items we don't want to sell. You know, and for every like GameCube lot of nothing but bangers, you get these lots that just half of it sucks and you don't know what to do with it. So we've all
yeah.
been there.
I find myself buying NES lots that have like 2 good games and like 20 not so good games,
Yep,
even though it
yep.
was a great deal, but you still got to do something with the other 18 games, you know?
100%.
So look, that's very helpful for me as well. I've even thrown around the idea of like, look, I enjoy my Ben show. It's mostly just to talk to people, it's an opportunity to see what people are up to, show them some cool stuff that came in, whatever.
Sure.
Whether we sell a bunch or not, it doesn't really matter. But the idea of like if I threw all my under $10 stuff in a tote, but used the second account and had essentially what I call the dollar store channel.
Hmm.
And that channel is always just a $2 start on whatever. It's just an empty the bin type thing.
Hmm.
That actually would be pretty funny, but it brings up an interesting thing. And I know me and Matt talk about this a lot, and I think he's right. You can't be both. You can't be a bin show and an auction show.
No,
It doesn't
cannot.
work. And look,
Consistency
I
is
experienced that.
everything.
Yeah, man.
Consistency is literally, and like for you 68 people in here, I can't stress that enough. How important being consistent with your show is. That's like if you're, because the thing is, you know, using me as an example, when people come to my show, they know it's dollar starts, they know it's there's gonna, you know, be goofy shit, whatever. But they know it's cheap games, regardless of what I'm running. If you're going back and forth, people aren't going to know. So they might pop into your show for 5 minutes, but they don't know are they running games or are they just doing a bin show or a pan and price? So you are absolutely spot on that you cannot be both. Because I've maybe intrinsically thought about doing like kind of a different style show where I'm just kind of chilling and doing that. But then that's when I get out of my own head. I'm like, no, you have to stay consistent, because I
Yeah.
don't want people to start guessing whether or not I'm doing that, because that's just what I love. But you know, once, and we saw it with I don't know. There's been a few people who have kind of transitioned into being fast-paced auctions, and then they stick with it. And thanks, Bobby. And they stick with it, and then their audience grows and grows and grows and grows. But they've done it. We've actually seen it with Gamer Life, where he was doing these awful mystery shows. I love you, Bobby. They were bad. They were so bad. He's my friend, so I can say this. But then he transitioned into dollar starts, and he's been crushing it ever since. So you kind of have to pick a route and just do it. Um, and yeah, that's the best advice I could give anybody. If you're a new seller,
Yep.
as Alan said, you got to pick one and just roll with it.
Yep. So I'll
100%.
be auctioning on Tuesday and Ben showing on Friday. Just heads up. I'm still trying to break the code. I like writing my show title auction, 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 auction. Just so people know.
Well,
But
and
no,
if you
man.
advertise it enough, you know, you will
Yeah.
get an audience, right? If you promote it enough and talk about it,
Mhm.
it will gain interest and people will show up. But to have to do that every single time you're going to do an auction, you know, is
Yeah,
I
it's
think
kind of frustrating.
it could be frustrating. Exactly.
Yeah, man. It's I kind of just go by like what fits on the shelf too. So like
Mhm.
soon as my shelf doesn't fit boxed games anymore, it's time for an auction. But you know, it's one of those things too. It's like I'll just keep them. You know,
Right.
like I'll just keep them. That's cool.
Sure.
I don't mind having this stuff. Now I will say this: when I first started selling on here, and it's only been like a year and a half or so, so I haven't been doing this forever. But I've been selling on eBay since 2003 or
Oh
something
wow.
like
Yeah. Right.
that,
Right around me.
on and off here and there. But um, it's really easy to get thrown in this mode of like, I'm gonna buy it because I know I can sell it, and it's much better to be an avenue of like, this is something I would keep. And if it's something you would keep, people really want it generally.
Sure.
But man, I was all about, oh yeah, it's a $12 game. I got it for 4.
Let
Let
me
me
take.
buy it.
Right.
And that works out okay sometimes. But there's this whole thing of like under 10 that you got to really start playing. As I was curious of what you said tonight because I really needed some better advice on under 10. Like, what do you do with that stuff?
Sure. Sure.
I know Justin like puts all his stuff in a bin and brings it to the game store when it's like to a point where he can
That's
trade it and
another
get 2 items. You know?
honestly great idea. And now that GameStop's going retro, honestly, everybody in here should be just getting all your shit dumped at GameStop
Yeah.
because they're giving good stuff. And then you like we always talked about in Discord when they had that crazy console promo. I was taking broken Wii's that were just sitting in my garage, and I turned it into two Switch twos and some other shit. So it's like turning that crap into stuff that you can actually use or sell, I think is a great tactic. So Justin doing that is excellent advice, and even lotting them up and just selling them on marketplace and hoping that you'll
Mhm.
get that like flea market seller or somebody that can actually utilize them. Because that's what I've noticed is people who, obviously I'm in California, so swap meets are pretty big out here, and I've noticed that a lot of the sellers there love the cheap games. I don't know why,
Okay.
because they tend to just sit from what I've seen, but they love them. So if you lot them up, you might just get some bites. And again, even if it's 200 games for $100, it's $100 you didn't have before, and it's stuff that's just sitting there doing nothing, right? So use that 100 to go get something that you can actually flip or could keep for your collection, whatever. I mean, this is stuff, and that's the other thing was when I buy lots, I almost don't even factor that stuff in. So to me, it's kind of just free, right?
Mm.
If I'm buying a big lot of games, I really only price the stuff that's worth a shit. If it's your Top Guns and play action footballs, I don't even bother piecing them or adding them to the value or my offer because it is just crap. It's just going to sit there, right? So I just kind of see it as free money. And again, you could take that to a store, lot it up on marketplace, do whatever. But changing that crap into something good is an excellent, excellent, excellent tactic that I've done a bunch. I think every reseller has or should.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great advice, Justin.
Yeah. Very. That's it's an interesting thing for sure. I made a transition earlier in the year to full blown accounting on everything.
Hmm.
Just because I was getting
Oh,
in a
wow.
spot where the business was doing well enough that I'm about to get in trouble, you know.
Sure.
And just accounting for that stuff. My systems aren't really built for throwing an item in a tote necessarily. So I got to modify that, kind of work on it a little bit. And I've talked about this in a few other episodes too. Like, dude, it's when you decide to go full blown legit, it's hard. It's very hard.
Well, I haven't
And
yet.
you know it's interesting too because I've heard Chase talking about it more this year than I've ever heard him talk about it too. I think they have a camera system that now can like snap it, assign the price, and all that stuff to it. So they're
Oh,
finally,
wow.
I think they're actually doing itemized now too. But
Nice,
like,
nice. That's
man,
crazy. Yeah,
my
I
my
I don't do
administrative
that.
headache was quadruple what I used to do,
Sure.
and it sucks.
Yeah,
So
that's I haven't. I know there's a few sellers that have LLCs now, and I've thought about it, but I don't know. I can't. I haven't reached that plateau just yet, but I know I need to start being mature, Jeff. It's like you don't ever want to grow up, and
yeah.
I know that that's coming for this business because obviously I'm doing quite a bit, and I know that it's needed. My brother, I'm Jewish, and my brother and my mom are both CPAs, which is hilarious. But
That's
so we
yeah.
fit the stereotype. But they yell at me and say, you have to do this, you have to keep records. I'm like, nah, I just want to sell games. I just want to sell Nintendos. I don't want to keep records and all this bullshit. But I know it's needed, so that's the
Yeah.
reason too.
And look, I think you're still in a gray area right now with Whatnot or even eBay. Um, there's things that are bringing that limit down 10,000. I think it's 10,000 right now, but
Yep.
they were talking about bringing it up to 25,000 a year. But I ended up in this situation where I looked down and the business was doing like 200,000 a year, and I'm
Right.
like, oh shit! Like people
Hmm.
are going to care about that number and whether I'm
Yep.
paying taxes or not, right?
Uh
So
huh.
it was
At the
it
same
was,
boat.
dude, it got so hard that I was literally considering just hanging it up.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, this is terrible.
It's not
So
fun anymore.
yeah, my friend was literally telling me, she's like, you have to know the cost of every individual thing. I'm like, I got 1,400 manuals sitting next to me right now, like 1,400 of them.
Crazy.
You want me to go and cost all that shit and then keep track of it? So we've yeah, and
Crazy.
I know Italian's laughing because he's got 14,000 manuals sitting next to him.
Wild.
But man, it was quite an endeavor. It's not for the weak of heart by any
No.
means, but and who
Yeah.
knows, maybe you don't really have to do all that stuff. I just,
I was gonna say,
you
if
know,
you were to get, and we're going into a whole different subject. My
yeah.
wife, if she was here, would blast me for this. But like, if you got audited, are they really gonna care what you paid for a Star Fox manual? Like, I don't know. Let's be real.
Who
I got a
knows?
house full of Jewish people. I'll ask them. I
Yeah,
mean, maybe.
ask him. Ask him. Yeah, ask him. I'm terrified of the accountants.
Yeah,
So
same. So yeah, it's crazy. But like you said, it's I had that kind of rude awakening a couple years ago when, but the business had its best year ever, and I'm putting all that because I do my own taxes, Jew, and I put all that into TurboTax,
mhm.
and it started yelling at me. Normally when I do a 1099K or whatever, it doesn't say anything to me, but it was like sirens were going off. It was like, fuck, I got to start changing some stuff. It sucks.
Yeah,
So,
man. It's something. I know it's not the most interesting conversation, but there's a lot of people selling on here that have no idea how that stuff
oh
works.
yeah,
And look, I think there's two schools of thought. You just go until you get caught, or you don't get caught, or you do it
yep,
the right way, or you do it maybe a little bit fancier way.
right.
So
I'm definitely the
that's always
first two.
fun.
I'll
Yeah,
keep
yeah,
going until
yeah.
I get
I'm more in the fancy way right now because I'm still
sure, sure,
collecting quite a bit.
sure,
Um, but yeah, there's definitely things that you can do that make it worth it
for sure.
overall. So what's on the agenda for Jeff's gaming supply for the rest of the year?
So we have a lot of big shows coming up. It's hard to say because the show's grown to a point where I don't have to plan stuff anymore, which is I'm grateful for all you guys and everybody that's made that possible. Where I can kind of just turn on the camera now and get an audience and get stuff sold, which is awesome. But I'm looking to change things up a bit. We're doing OBS now and trying to make the stream just a little bit better. I know eventually I want to get out of that fucking garage, so that's on the agenda for this year. Is to
Yeah.
try to be a little bit more professional in that sense, not so much my personality, but just in the way we run the show, and maybe try to plan stuff out a little bit better than I currently do. But as I know Andy was talking about, but we have this really big N64. Obviously, we're massive N64 guys. Myself, Andy, and CB Retro, we have that coming up on 6/4, which is National Nintendo 64 Day, which I don't even know if that's real, but Andy dubbed it that, so we're gonna roll
Yeah.
with it. But yeah, I think just looking to continue growing the audience and keep bringing good games and trying new things. I'm always wanting to try different things with the show and bring in more people. We just did a show where I had Shirakin Gaming who's here and Rhino, um, both on the show at the same time, which I don't talk about Rhino enough. He is critical to my show. Ryan, I love you. He they're all laughing because of the last one. I forgot to mention him. Ryan, I love you. He is a big part of why the show's gotten to the point it has, and I mean that truthfully. That he's been a very very close friend of mine for 20 years, and getting to do this with him is very very important with me. And I have a lot of social anxiety, and he kind of diminishes that for me because I'm comfortable around him, and he allows me to be myself on camera. And he's been an insanely critical part to this show getting to the point it's at, which it's still baffling to me that we are where we are. But anyway, I know this is a really long answer to your question, but I think yeah, we're just gonna keep growing, and please be there on 6/4 to help CB Retro sell his games because he was sad tonight.
Yeah, man. 64. I've gotten to a point on 64 where I got to look at a picture to see what I don't have.
Mhm.
It's getting kind of difficult. It was really interesting collecting the boxes for 64 because
I love the boxes.
you can hit 150 like that, but after that 150, it's really hard to know what you had.
Yes.
And then secondly, it's hard to find that next item.
Hmm.
I'm at like 250 ish now, maybe 260, and it's getting very picky. Mega Man Boy had a show last week. He had like
Oh, it's crazy. He always
300
has like,
titles.
he's funny. Mega Man Boy, if you're in here, I love you, but he'll take like 3 months off and then just come back with the most insane inventory I've ever seen. It's
Yeah.
really really wild. I don't know how he does, but he's always done that where you won't see him for a bit and he'll come back with like the most expensive PS1 games you've ever seen. I
Yeah.
mean, it really is fascinating. But
Yeah.
yeah, I'm more. I think with N64 collecting, I'm in more of the chasing boxes slash boring phase of collecting with it, where really all I have left is like Worms Armageddon and Sculptors and the games I don't really even want, but I know if
Right.
I want a full set, I have to collect them. So, I think every right like average dude got to a point with NES where he just needed Panic Restaurant. It's like that's only a $1,500 game.
Right.
We all have that just laying around for one game. It's just it's crazy. But I want to do the same. I'm a big Dreamcast guy, so I want to do the same with Dreamcast. But you know what? It's funny with anything Sega, mainly Dreamcast, because the most expensive game really isn't that bad, but the
Yeah.
average price per game is fucking insane. So it ends up being one of the more expensive consoles to collect for. But I have Cannon Spike, which is the equivalent of Sculptors for N64. So it's not that hard to get the most expensive game, but it is hard to attain a full set because even the sports games go for decent amounts. So yeah, it could be tough.
Yeah. I don't know why I do sets, I guess, but I never thought I would actually do that, but I got really
Hmm.
fascinated by the getting all of them.
Hmm.
It kind of made the hunt more fun, I think, because I
Sure.
remember we went to a con probably halfway through collecting Wii U, and I was like, I'm just gonna see if I can get 12 Wii U games today I don't have, and that was just fun. I thought that was the good time, and now I'm going back and trying to play all these games. Same thing with 64. I got the whole set right here, but like I haven't played 65% of them yet.
Sure.
So I've said this so many. It's like a beating a dead horse, but I just play the same shit over and over. I just love the
Same.
games that I love, and I just want to. I'd play Contra every day if I
Every
could.
collector does that. The amount of
Yeah,
times I've gone back and played Ocarina. Is it Adam? Am I saying it right? Ocarina of Time, you
yeah,
fucker. Anyway, he always says I say it wrong. Ocarina of Time. Anyway, it's my second favorite game of all time. So it doesn't matter. Like even when I've beaten it so many times, and even when it came out on Switch or Switch Two, whatever, or the N60, whatever the fuck that is, the online, I went and
yeah.
beat it. Like I love that game so much, and so I think a lot of us do that where we just have those select games that we just always enjoy. And like I always joke. So Adam's been saying, ask me about my favorite PC game. So Half Life Two is my favorite game of all time. Doesn't matter. I'll
Okay,
play it anyway. So I went and picked up a Steam Deck when it first came out, and the first game I installed on it was Half Life Two, which is a game that came out in 2004.
yeah.
And I was just baffled that like I'm playing Half Life Two mobile. Like this is crazy. So yeah, but it is funny. I think every collector does that, where we have these massive collections, but we only play a handful of them every time, right? It's pretty fascinating.
So I got a gaming PC maybe 2-3 months ago, and then one of them fried, and I had to get another one.
Mm,
But I keep finding myself just wanting to download on Steam the shit I already have
yep.
and just play it
Yeah.
on this monitor. But anyway, me and Neto, I don't know if Neto actually ordered it or not, but because he has the other one, but I ordered the new Polymega that's coming out.
Oh, nice,
That
nice.
so it hooks to your computer, so you can put all your stuff on the I think it's perfect for me because I just want to take these games I already have that come through the cabin and just load them to my computer. Like,
Right,
oh, so Neto did buy it as well. So it's perfect for reselling because every game that comes through here I can essentially own,
right,
on
right.
this thing forever, and I can sell it off. So I actually did that this morning. I was like, man, I am out of space. Like I'm just out of space. So I went through all my disc games that I still need to play most of them. And I was like, GameCube, it can all go. I just took all of it
Yeah,
out, threw it in a bin. Because my GameCube's modded, I have every game on it.
sure.
So
So yeah, why do you need it?
And I had a GameCube, but only had one game when I had it, so nothing's nostalgic for me. It's just that one game, and I got that
Right,
one sealed, so I just kept that one
right,
sealed and graded, and I'm like, I'm good. So I'm kind of leaning more towards that. I like playing them. The collecting stuff too. I was like even thinking about it. I was like, yeah, I got some of this stuff. Like I probably could now that I've got a better feel for what I like and don't like long term. Maybe start doing like a whole Sonic show and sell the
sure.
entire Sonic collection in
Oh
one
yeah, that'd be
auction. It
awesome.
would.
Yeah,
I mean, I've got some good Sonic pieces in there, but I wouldn't sell my Sonic 2 because that
sure.
was the game I had and that I loved on Genesis.
Right.
So
Hey, I'll say there's some things that you could never sell, but the only thing I will say, I'm curious if anyone in the chat feels this way, but I get asked all the time why I collect for Dreamcast when all the games are free, which is completely true. You can just download all the games and burn them. But there's something different, and I will say, like, there's just something special when I'm going to play it of just picking out the game you want, opening it up,
yeah,
taking the
dude.
disc out, putting it in. It kind of brings back that nostalgia. So I don't know. I'm curious if anybody else feels that way, but I
Physical, it is different, man. It feels
right.
different.
It does. And so I think that's why it just never, even though I'm playing it on original hardware, it never felt the same to me putting in just a burned disc versus the actual real deal thing. So there is, I think, that authentic feeling of like bringing us back to being kids when we're actually going through what we remember. Boy, if only I remember, or like could go back in time and not throw away every piece of fucking cardboard when I was a kid. But I think we all have that regret.
Yeah. Do you also like find yourself I found myself doing this morning with a Switch game. It was what was it? Anyway, I got it here. It's just something I wanted to play. Nothing crazy.
Mhm.
But it was sealed and I was like, I gotta open this. And then like I opened it, I'm like, ugh, I don't really like that. I'd rather just
Yep.
buy it used and just play it.
Mhm.
But
I'm the same way.
taking the seal off was literally painful.
I hate
Even
it.
on a Switch game, it was painful. So
I'm the same way.
yeah, I'm like solely looking for used games now. Like
Mhm.
I don't want that
Hard.
feeling anymore. I don't like that.
100%.
Um, it's a really strange thing overall. So
Mhm.
cool, man. Any what's your next collection wish? Like what are you trying to get, or what should we be looking out for you for? What are you trying to find?
So I've really so Neo Geo go. I'm trying to go harder on Neo Geo CD. That's a console that's very fun to collect for me. I don't have many, but I'm wanting to get more into that just because it's the Neo Geo is so dear to my fucking heart. I mean, I have out there. I have an MVS X, which is the shitty emulation one, but still I play it all the time, and I've just always been a big Neo Geo guy, and so I think Neo Geo CD is the most accessible. I already have Foxy. I already have my AES Plus pre-ordered, which I'm very
Dude, I'm getting
excited
one
about.
too.
I can't
You
wait.
did you get the white one or the black one?
I got the white one because I really wanted the wireless stick,
Okay.
but the shitty part is I don't like the white. I want the black console because that's nostalgic for me.
Mm,
With the wireless stick, which I know at that point you have to get the most
yeah.
expensive one, but I think that's fucking awesome what they're doing. And so shout out to SNK and whatever company they're working with. I forget the name, but it's amazing. But I think I still think Neo Geo CD is very attainable if you want to collect, what we call the Rolex of the game industry. I think it's very attainable. But I think the next big one, as weird as it's going to sound, because I don't talk about it much, is PS1. I didn't realize how much nostalgia I have for PS1 until I started collecting the long box games. And Shirakin Gaming, who's here, traded me a long box Twisted Metal, which I've been after for a long time. And
I just
seeing that
sold
on
one.
my shelf just like
Yeah.
brought back all that. I kind of was looking at it going, man, I kind of want a big PS1 collection. I have some grails that are more light gun games. Like right now, I have Elemental Gearbolt, which if any of you have never played it, please play Elemental Gearbolt. It's if you like light gun games, it's fucking. I think it's the goat light gun game. It's probably the best ever made in my opinion. It's unbelievable, but it's also very fucking expensive. But
Mm.
there's so many great light gun games on the PS1. And so I've always just collected those, but now, I want like all the wipeouts. I want Jumping Flash. Jumping Flash 1 and 2 were so criminally underrated. But yeah, I feel like when you're collecting and you're really honing in on one console, like obviously I did with the N64 or Dreamcast, you kind of forget, the importance of the other consoles that you grew up with. Like I have a joke where I bash the Super Nintendo. I don't hate the Super Nintendo. I love it. I just like bashing it because people get fucking fumed.
Uh-huh.
But I have a ton of nostalgia with the Super Nintendo, so that's coming soon too. But I think instead of just, I used to just collect anything and everything. It's why I have so much GameCube, because I collect it because it's fucking expensive. It's the only reason. I have no attachment to the GameCube at all. I don't really care for it. I don't think it's that great. I don't understand it, but I collect it because it's fun, because it's rare and expensive. So I want to start kind of honing in on the stuff that actually means something to me, and
Mhm.
not just collecting it for monetary reasons. Like, you can't see it, but I have a whole row of PS Vita. Think I give a fuck about Vita?
Yeah.
No, but I just know it's going to be expensive one day. So, um, yeah, I don't know. So yeah, I think definitely PS1 and SNES are the next that are incoming for sure.
I never had a Super Nintendo, so I was a Genesis kid. So I've only
Love
played.
that.
I
I love
literally
that.
went NES, Genesis, N64. I just never had it. So the only experiences I had with it was playing Super Bomberman at my buddy's house, and then Street Fighter 2. But also got my version of Street Fighter 2 and Genesis, so I was nostalgic for both versions. They're just
Mhm.
different. Although Genesis one was better. And then Super Street Fighter was good on both, but Championship Edition was definitely better than the OG, in my
Sure.
opinion.
I remember
Uh,
you and Andy talking about that, which I
yeah,
I, I
man.
tend to agree
It's
with.
and you turn that bitch up to 10, it's really hard.
Yeah.
So I was
Well, and
playing Super Street Fighter on 10, and it was impossible.
the fighting games on Genesis were just so much better, and I mean the fighting games on every Saturn or every Sega platform are better, right? Like, the Saturn is a god when it comes to the 2D fighters. I mean, they're all. I mean, you get the
Mhm.
best version of all three alphas, and the best version of X-Men versus Street Fighter. I mean, everything. Sega just did every fighting game better than every other console, or
Yeah.
every other platform rather that it was on. Yeah,
Yeah,
2D fighters and shmups. Atomic says I agree.
yeah, I never had a Super Nintendo, so I played like 3 games. I have no basis, but I
Right,
have
right.
been playing through them. So I've been on a major Castlevania kick for like three
Nice,
months.
nice, nice.
Just completely obsessed with all the Castlevanias. We started because we did a poll on one of my shows. I'm like, you guys ain't buying nothing. I'm gonna play a game. So I put 4 games on the vote, and I said, y'all choose. And Dracula's Curse got chose, of course.
Nice.
And I had Castlevania 2 growing up. That's the only one I ever had. Remember, I said everything but the twos.
Right,
So
right,
Simon's Quest was the only one I had, and I liked it, but it was a weird Castlevania compared to the other ones.
right.
Um, and it took me 3 months to get through Dracula's Curse, and level 7 was quite a bitch. And then I was like, well, if I beat that one, I got to go play one. And then I beat one, and I was like, okay, now I got to play two. And then we went to Bloodlines. And by the way, Bloodlines is badass on Genesis. If you haven't played Castlevania Bloodlines, like
Wow.
that's 100% go play it. It's really good. And then we actually skipped Super Castlevania. We went to Dracula X next. And kind of clumsy feeling
Mhm.
mechanics and stuff. So, but we did beat it. It did kind of end better than it started. We
Sure.
beat that on stream and it was really fun. And then we went back and played Super Castlevania after, and I was like, this game's a joke. It's so freaking easy. And then when I got to the very end, I'm like, oh shit, it's really hard now. So it was like
Right.
super easy and then super hard. Um, but then we played Rondo of Blood, and I will say, Rondo of Blood was my favorite out of all of them. It was
Nice.
really, really good. It was just a better version of Dracula X, even though it's a different game, but it's
Sure, sure,
practically the same game. But
sure.
man, if you haven't played Bloodlines or Rondo of Blood, skip all the other ones. Just go play those two because they are awesome. And we just started on Symphony of the Night, so everybody's probably like, "Well, you didn't play Symphony?" I just started on it, but I took a little bit of a break on Castlevania because I played like 8 of them in a row.
Hmm.
It becomes a little bit much, but man, it's yeah, dude, such a good. I don't know. That game like speaks to me because I just go forward.
Sure,
Just go forward, beat the boss, go forward again. I'm not big on exploring anymore, even though I love the
sure.
Zelda games on NES growing up.
It's so time
I
consuming.
just don't have the time for it.
Yeah.
So
It's and that's why, like, and this is going to be another polarizing opinion. Um, I don't like Breath of the Wild at all. I don't like.
me either.
I don't like it. Like,
Orio's gonna flip out. Yeah,
and
Atomic,
like.
I do need to start that. My Atomic, I didn't tell you, but I put Dark Souls in the PS5 and it literally overheated and died. So like immediately. So we got new liquid metal, and I got to waiting on a driver bit to come in to fix my PS5. But
Nice.
yeah, dude,
Yeah,
Breath of the Wild is too open, and I
it
don't
ain't
like
Zelda,
that.
and like, I just we're dads, and our time is limited, and I don't want to spend time running to the next place just for not, and just for nothing like critical to happen. I think that's because I love Elden Ring. It was one of my favorite games
Mhm.
ever. I mean, it's like a top 5 game for me, and I get
Yep.
asked all the time, well, if you love Elden Ring, why don't you like Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom? I said, because I could turn Elden Ring on for 5 minutes, grind for a bit, and feel like I accomplished something. I couldn't do that with Breath of the Wild. I would just not know where I am and what I needed to do, and I just never felt that way with Elden Ring, which is weird because I know they're always compared, even though I don't think they're anything alike. I think they just have that open worldness where you can, if you see it, you can go there.
Mhm.
But yeah, Breath of the Wild, I felt like I was just exploring and not playing a game. It was like an exploring simulator, and I didn't like that the weapons broke. So fucking dumb. What Zelda game has broken weapons breaking? Like what the fuck?
I tried it,
So
man. I tried it. Oreo loves it, and look, I know it's a great game because people have
right,
said it's a great game.
sure,
It's
and I
just
can
not
see
for.
it's
It's just not
brilliant.
for me. It's just not
Right,
for me. I can't
same,
do it.
same.
So, and I just will say this too. I just prefer 2D
Sure,
games. Like I just do.
he's
So
great.
I picked up a couple more modern 2D games recently. So I got Hollow Knight for the PC, which I'm
Hollow
enjoying
Knight's so
that.
good.
And
Oh,
then I just
so
bought
good.
Prince of Persia
Nice.
for PS5 and Switch, but I haven't played it yet. But I heard it was actually pretty good 2D.
Yep.
Um,
But yeah,
so
play Hollow Knight. That's was one of my favorite games ever. And I have when my wife was in the hospital, about to give birth to my oldest, that came out, and I was a piece of shit husband and played through it while while she was trying to rest. But I just have a lot of cool memories to that game. But it's just a fucking great game. And if you like Castlevania and Metroid and that, you're gonna love
yeah,
Hollow Knight. It's incredible, absolutely incredible game.
it will. It probably will take me a year. I played it 3 or 4 times now, and I guess I haven't had an hour to play it yet. I've only had like 10 minutes here, 20 minutes there.
Mm,
But I will say this: like I'm collecting the Castlevania stuff. Like I've been playing my physical copies like on stream through it, and I'm really enjoying it. Because it's like, oh, I'm
sure.
playing my actual copy. Except for Rondo, I don't have Rondo of Blood. I want to get a Rondo of Blood. They're pretty pricey. I'm kind of
Okay,
working my
that's
way towards
expensive.
that.
Yeah.
So I did get we do have Symphony of the Night on PS1. We've got what is the other one? I bought the one sealed from Atomic as well, the Chronicles, Castlevania
Yeah, something like
Chronicles, and
that.
then
I'm
but
not
I
too
need to get
familiar.
Ron. I haven't even seen a Rondo on whatnot like at
Mm,
all. So
very,
if it
very
pops
rare.
up, I will be buying it or paying a
Sure,
lot for it. So
sure.
uh, overall, so well, cool. Well, look, we're probably kind of getting towards the end of our time. Anybody in the chat have any final topics you guys want to do? I've been kind of trying to keep up. Y'all are blowing that chat away. Then tonight it's moving really fast. Jeff brought all the chat with him, so it's cool.
I see all my favorite people in the
Skylar,
chat.
yay or nay, Jeff?
I like Skyler. I
I
look.
do.
I think
I do too.
he.
Yeah.
I think he kind of he really grew the video game category. I think a lot of people have opinions like Pookie, but what he's done for the video game category, I think, shouldn't be overlooked. He really grew it. I mean, those streams where he was getting 600, 700 people, and obviously Chase has too. But I really feel like Skylar's pioneered a lot. He's why a lot of us do fast paced $1 starts. He was the first to really do it. And I think he runs a great show. I think I mean, he's clearly been insanely successful, and his work ethic is amazing. But when it comes to the bigger sellers, I'm a huge fan of Caden, as I'm sure a lot of people are, because Caden to me is just a little bit more personable. Like I have Caden's number, right? Like I don't have Skylar's cell phone number. I can text Caden whenever I want. So I feel like Caden's just a little bit more easy to get along with, and again, somebody that we could talk to, and he's always offering to give advice. But again, as far as people who have really grown this category, I mean, it's Chase and Skyler. I think 1A and 1B. Those two have brought so many people in. It's insane.
I think there's also like the back room shows as well. Like, so for me, like I put Chase on like when I'm at work. Like I just
Mhm.
listen to it in background noise, and every now and then I'll hear something. I'll tag a buddy or whatever. It's like something they want. But I really don't have any expectations of buying anything in those shows. I just want to like see it, listen, have.
Sure.
I like background noise, I guess. And then Skyler, I'll listen to in like the drive home or something. Just because, look, whether you like him, you don't like him. it's funny watching that show.
Sure.
So just to see what people are typing. I mean, I'm looking at some of the chat right now. It's pretty hilarious too.
It's wild.
Uh,
No one can take me
but
serious.
I think all those. But man, like even the smaller circles, some of the newer sellers, like I always watch, my buddies, and then anybody that's adjacent to them as well. So like if they're like, hey, I like this guy or whatever, go support them too. It's I think you have there's the mainstream and then there's the completely unmainstream, and I think they both have their place. It's just how much
100%.
you want, how much money do you want to spend in each.
100%.
So there are things that I've gotten from the Chase show. Like I got a Dracula X in the box from Chase for like
Nice, nice,
$600. You know
nice.
why? Because it had stickers all over it, and then I got all the stickers off of it, and it looks great.
Right.
So I will say this though, I had to send the cart to RGB because the cart had, it was like the worst blockbuster copy you've ever seen. It had like 14 foil stickers on the label. So, but I saw
RGB's a
that and I'm
machine.
like, look, I don't really want to pay $1,500 for Dracula X. I'm gonna fix that, and then one day when I come across a great deal on a better box, I'll just upgrade it. But I've been pretty happy with that purchase overall, especially where
Nice.
it went from where it started to where it is now. It's like night and day.
Sure,
So,
sure.
and
Right on.
I'm definitely all about, because I'm just still early in collecting. Like I'm okay taking a copy that's not great, just knowing eventually it'll upgrade. That's
And
fine.
and it's kind of fun, at least for me, like to not go all in like RGB does. It's pretty fascinating how he's able to clean up carts, but it is fun to kind of buy something you're keeping. It might not be in the best condition and cleaning it up yourself. There's something fun about that. I guess knowing that you're going to keep it. I don't know. Maybe I'm weird, but I don't know. It feels good. It's like
I think
time
once
was
you have a
not
lot of,
wasted.
I think once you've had a lot of games rolling through your garage or your house and stuff, and you're selling regularly,
Oh yeah,
you have a confidence that you're going to get a better copy of this. Like it's going
sure.
to happen. And I'm okay holding the first one. Like for example, I had a code name Viper. Dude, it was the worst freaking box I've ever seen in my life. Like no tabs, bottom blown out, every corner messed up. And I was like, damn, I shouldn't even put that on the shelf. But it only took 2 weeks and another code name Viper came in and there it was upgraded. So swap the box out and then go from there.
Oh, nice.
Uh, yeah, or you can buy it just clean from the beginning. That's definitely smarter, but I don't know. I get the thrill of just getting that first copy, no matter
Oh,
what the
hell
first
yeah,
copy is. And
hell
then
yeah.
if it's like local, like a yard sale or a pawn shop or whatever, it kind of even feels more special because it's like I shouldn't have been able to find this where I found this,
Right, right,
which always feels pretty good
for sure.
overall. So everybody kept asking who do you hate the most on here, but don't feel like you have to answer that. I'm just throwing that out there.
Who I
Uh,
hate the most? Oh
yeah,
boy, I you know what? I don't know. I said this before. Like I'm sorry, but there's so many awful sellers. Like it's really bad, and it's something that we need to clean up as a category. Like coming into a room like this is just like, tell me what you guys want. Like I
yeah,
don't I don't
nothing
fucking get
auctioning,
it.
nothing in the bin either.
I
Like
don't
just
fucking
nothing,
get it.
nothing.
So like I hate that. I hate CB Retro. I'm kidding. He's my friend. Bookmark the 6-4 Ray Train. No, I think if I really didn't like somebody, fuck, I don't know.
It's
Pookie, who
not
do I
a
not like?
it's not a real question. They're just trying
It's
to pin me
fun though.
down.
It's a fun
Yeah,
question. I'm
yeah.
trying to think if there's somebody I just flat out like won't watch. It used to be CT Picker, but we're all right now. I know a lot of people have issues with him, but he said hi to me once, so now we're friends. Uh, I'm not easy to please. Who Ryan? I almost don't want you to type it.
What's
Pookie
your
said I'm a pussy.
let me ask you a better, more relevant question. What's your
Sure.
favorite show to watch right now? So other people can check it out.
I would say easily. I'm trying to make sure there's not someone I watch more, but I got to give it up to my guy Andy. His streams are just so fun. He's
Yeah.
really kind of found his niche. I think he's so entertaining, and the fact that he can just like literally do this for an hour and a half straight is fucking insane. But I'm really and being we've been friends for 2 years and seeing his stream evolve the way it has, just as a friend, I'm just fucking stoked for him and proud. And I love watching him.
Yeah.
Pookie's great to watch. I wish Pookie didn't stream for 18 hours at a time, but Pookie and sell 4 games. But I think Pookie's great to watch. Shirakan Gaming's another one. Gamer Life, all those guys. Ryan, of course. Ryan, you run a great show. I love you. But obviously, I'm going to shout out my friends. Exiled Punk on Sundays. go watch Exile Punk. So there's a lot of, I would say a lot of the people that I've become close with on here all run amazing, amazing, amazing shows. But and I even I take digs at him, but honestly, Satoshi's very fun to watch for me because he gets so mad, and I don't know, it's entertainment. Like he'll put up a shitty game and say it's a $50 game, and I'm just like I don't get it. But it's more comedy for me because I don't understand it. But and then obviously Caden shows are always. I mean, Caden's such a great streamer. It's pretty insane, and I've learned a lot from him, and he's given me a lot of advice. He's literally the reason, a lot of the reason why my shows expanded because he got me into sponsored giveaways, which I never wanted to do. But he called me one night and said, "Hey, why don't you try it?" And I was like, "I don't know. It just seems weird to me." And they've been immensely successful. So anyway, there's so many people I like watching. But if like gun to my head, I had to choose just one at this very moment, I got to give it up to Andy. And I think you guys should all be partying on Wednesday nights. It's
Yeah.
pretty insane what that guy's capable of. It's just
Andy,
different, you know. It's
yeah.
different.
And Andy was also on Horsetalk. You can check him out on YouTube, Horsetalk Game Cabin.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that was a good episode as well, man. I've enjoyed all of these just because just get to know people a little bit. So the whole purpose of this show was more so is like when you think about Whatnot, to me, it's like characters in a sitcom, kind
Mm-hmm.
of, or a drama, depending on
Yep.
who they are. And a lot of people don't necessarily put themselves on the camera. Like,
Yep.
I'll say this, I don't like holding games up like this. I just don't. I don't care
Sure.
being on the camera. I'm literally on a podcast that's airing right now. Like, that's not the problem. The
It's
problem is
you
I don't
have
like
to get
showing
used to
games
it.
like this.
Yeah, we
So
when I first, it's so funny you say that because the first time we ever did that, Ryan, I don't know if you remember this. So Ryan and I were at a mall. We were actually at a Gamer Life swap, and I had never shown my face at this point. And I decided, fuck it, we're at the mall. Let's for the first time flip the camera around. And I felt so weird
mhm.
holding the game in my hand. I was like, this just doesn't feel right. So you do get used to it, but man, when you can just flip the camera around and just have it sit on a holder, it's 1,000 times easier. It's
Yeah.
so much better. So yeah, I
It's
completely agree with that.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. I mean, I watch Retro Rick start his Whatnot stuff and then learn how to kind of do it, and he does a good job at it. I will say this: I don't think anybody that holds it up, you can see the same level of detail on a CIB. So if you're buying an
100%.
$800 game, I ain't buying it like that. Like I want to
100%.
see, I want to see every crease, I want to see every crevice, I want
And
to
that's
see
why I
all the
hate doing
shit.
it because I feel that as I'm showing it, I feel that way. I feel like
Yeah,
I'm not giving a good enough description.
yeah,
So yeah, that's why, and I think that's why maybe at least mine don't go for as much maybes because
yeah,
I'll call it out and say this is fucking mint, and I think for me, people know when I say something's mint, it's mint because I never run stuff that's mint. All my stuff sucks. So I think it means something, and so but again, like you said, like it's very tough to go like this, and I don't know, I just don't like it when you have the full screen and you can flip the camera around. It's just immensely better. So yeah, I 100% agree with that.
Yeah, man. Whatnot's been really interesting. I kind of follow like how did we do last summer? How did we do this summer? This year's been better than the previous year early on, but the summers crashed pretty hard, especially like a
Mm-hmm.
week or two ago. Um, but it's interesting too. Once you get a little bit more of a following, it doesn't affect you nearly as much. And I
Right.
will say this: I do think that people that put their faces on the camera do have it is an advantage if you have any sort of personality.
It changed my whole
Um,
stream. I used to average 40 or 50 people when I had the camera flipped, and then when I switched, I noticed it would just climb and climb and climb. And I think a lot of it is you just build more of a personal relationship with who you're buying from. And I always kind of question, like, am I being myself? Am I truly authentic me? And
mhm.
when I started getting roasted by everybody, which is how Ryan can tell you that that's how all my friends in real life treat me. I'm like the Meg Griffin of my friends. And when everyone on stream was like bashing me, I was like, oh, I guess I am kind of being my authentic self. And so that made me,
Yeah,
he said, shut up, Jeff. That made me a lot more comfortable knowing that, like, okay, I am like my actual personality is coming through on camera.
yeah,
So that made it weird, but it is, I get it. I never wanted to do Whatnot because I don't like public speaking. I don't like showing my face. I don't like hearing my own voice. It's fucking weird. But after a while, you get used to all of it, and it just becomes kind of second nature. But it took a while, and it's not easy. I mean, not everybody's going to be comfortable doing this. And Jeff is Meg's real brother. You're not, it's truly not for everybody. But again, just give it a try, and you never know. But I am an advocate that most streamers should be showing their face, because if not for nothing, it makes it more entertaining. Again, it's better than coming into this. Even if you're not doing anything, if you're just hanging out, show your face and just hang out. You don't have to just go into a stack of games with nothing and not knowing who you're buying
Yeah.
from.
Well,
So
just
anyway.
well, just do a podcast that shows your face, and then you don't have to show your face when you stream.
Exactly.
So,
I
which
mean,
is nice.
we got 56 people here. We're not selling shit,
I
but
mean,
we're
no,
showing our faces.
normally behind the camera, we're just like,
Right.
all this stuff
Yeah.
on whatever's happening. Or me, like when I press the auction button, I have to leave the room most of the time just because
Right.
I don't even want. Dude, it got so bad one time I had to put a sticky note over the sold number on my iPad so I couldn't see it,
Oh,
just so
that's
I could
funny.
get through the auction. But I think that's part of this itemized accounting. Is like I know the cost of every fucking
Oh
item,
gosh, yeah, that would.
so
We
which
were
is
joking.
terrifying.
We were joking last show where Ryan price charted a lot of the stuff we were selling, and he had these little sticky notes on the stuff. They're mainly guides, and you see me in real time as I'm pulling them from the bin that we were selling. I'm ripping off the sticker because I don't want to see it. I don't want to
Yeah.
know what it's worth. So I don't get. For me, at least, again from my perspective, I don't like that. I don't understand. I sometimes like the price charting value being said in the chat. It's definitely not something that bothers me because I want to make sure that people are getting a good deal and they know what it's worth. But I really, for my own psyche, I don't like knowing that I just got killed on an item. I would rather just, it is nice to know when I do well,
Yeah.
but I just don't want to know what it's worth. Just go, and TY Broker's the king of that. I don't think he price charts anything. I mean, he had a Rock and Cats go for $9, and he was just like, meh, and just moved on to the next game. I was like,
Yeah.
that's crazy. Yeah, he's the king of that.
Yeah,
So
I will say it too. I mean, if you're selling and you're saying, "Hey, this is a $20 game," before the auction even starts, you're just limited to what you're going to get. You're going to get 15.
exactly, yeah.
You're
Don't
immediately going to get 15. You have no shot at
and this
getting
is
20.
and this might be scummy, but I like the chat not knowing, so that way I might get more. Maybe
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
I mean,
As
it's
bad as that is.
yeah. I mean, look, it's you can watch most of whatnot, especially the large streams that have 300 people, and I can look up a game. And if it's a $20 game, I guarantee you it sells for $16 to $17 every single time.
Right,
Every
right.
single time. Because they have to feel like they got a deal. They're price charting it. But
Yep.
when you start yelling, this is a $20 game, it's a $20 game, you're never going to get over 20. That's
You're
not
never getting over
possible.
20 bucks.
It's not even
And that's
possible at that
and
point.
and and one thing that is a problem, again, I joke about Satoshi, but it is a problem with a lot of sellers lying about pricing. And this is something we were talking about earlier that pisses me off, is when people kind of make up their own values based on condition. It really triggers me. Like, they'll have like a copy of Blazing Angels on the 360, but it's mint, so they like double the price charting value. Like, no, stop. And so I don't like the fabricating pricing, lying. CB Retro does this all the time. I'm kidding. I love you, Chris. But I think that is a problem on Whatnot, of people lying about pricing. I've been guilty of it, but for me, it's just a mistake. I did it not too long ago on a Pokemon game. I thought it was $280, and Andy was roasting me in the chat, telling me it was only 200. But that's usually a mistake with me. I just don't like when people are fabricating it. And you're right, condition does matter, but does that mean a $9 game is 20 because it's mint? No. And there's nothing you can tell me to convince me otherwise. It's maybe a 10 or 11. So
It
that's
just
the
depends
problem.
I guess it depends what it is, really, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, like if it's
NES
mint,
cardboard, like it could be three
100%.
times the value, like no
Well, and I've
problem.
said,
But
and
PS2, not so much.
I've had a
$10
lot
game.
of discussions on this, that when it comes to cardboard, price charting is irrelevant. It doesn't matter because it's so hard to find mint cardboard that you really can't put a value on it. And as Frack said, it really what's up, Llama? Sorry, we have a celebrity here. What's up, David? Um it it's impo- it, or, sorry, Frack said it, is that it depends on what somebody's willing to pay. So if you have like a mint condition Link to the Past or original Mario, PC might have it at $200. It might sell for 1,500 because it's mint, and that's so hard to find. So yeah, I tell everybody I love price charting up until it comes to cardboard. I don't think it has any effect on that. And condition, like, don't get me wrong, condition plays a massive amount when it comes to cardboard. But like you said, CIB disc, I mean, yeah, you can maybe get a couple bucks more, but you ain't gonna get 2 or 3 times what it's worth just because you have a mint case. So it's crazy. But yeah,
Yeah, it's like
cardboard,
those. It's like you said. It's those games you throw in that bin. Like
right?
those games. They just don't vary that much.
Hmm.
It's whatever. Now we sell a lot of cardboard, so it's pretty much 50% cardboard, and then the rest is just carts. But um, yeah, it's interesting as a bin show as well doing cardboard because you gotta be careful about you're gonna scare them off with price right away, even though it
Right.
could be perfect.
Right.
So I try to put descriptors in there. If it's something that's like I'm keeping, like it's like in my case, like I'll put PC item because it truly is. I just do
Sure.
that because I can't keep every single thing.
Sure. Sure.
But other than that, yeah, try to stay close. I mean, but it also depends what you paid for it, right? So
100%.
if you got a lot of 10 CIB games and you had to pay 70% for them, you might be $5 overpriced charting. It is what it is. So
Right.
buy it or don't buy it. So
100%. 100%.
yeah, it is tough. It just depends on the bin show with cardboard is very tricky. So what I do is I have an inventory list. I upload everything. It uses market value with a small multiplier. And then when I actually go to upload pictures, I evaluate those pictures really closely. And then I say, okay, if market is 100, but this thing has the PMG, the registration, the manual, the poster, game specific poster, it's already over PC,
Right.
regardless of the condition of this box because it has all the inserts.
Sure. Sure.
So, but you don't double it. Maybe it's 20%, 15%. But I kind of base it more so on like, okay, if I got a great deal on it, I'm going to be above PC on that item, but I'm not going to be way over. I might be
Sure.
$10 over, $15 over.
Sure.
Now,
Sure.
I will say this. I got the link to the past insert in the other day. I don't know if you've seen this before, but there's a PMG that says, I brought light to a dark world. And it's a purple and yellow. It looks just like all the other ones.
Hmm.
Thing is rare as shit. I have it, Frack. It's on the bay, but if you need it, I can do it. But anyway, mint as shit. I actually got it in a copy of Sim City. I saw it
Oh
in a copy
wow.
of Sim City, and I bought it.
Oh wow.
Doesn't belong there. However, if you have a link to the past that has all the paperwork in that PMG, you're nowhere even near price charting. You're double, 2.5, maybe 3, depends. Like my copy, I don't know what link to the past is. Maybe it's $200 PC. I would bet you my copy would go for no less than 600.
It's fun. This is so funny. Bobby, are you still in here? This is so funny because I don't know if his has this. So what Josh is talking about is I gave Gamer Life. I traded him a table at his event for a mint, and I'm talking like pristine link to the past. I don't remember everything that was in there, but
Mm-hmm.
I remember him looking at it, going, "This is worth like $600 or $700, right?" And I was like, whatever, I don't
Yeah.
care. And but yeah, it's so funny that you're bringing this up because you're absolutely right. And Adam Shirok, I talk about him way too much, but he's my friend. But we're in a group chat, and he had a Resident Evil long box that I guess had some insert that is incredibly rare, just like what you're talking about.
Mhm.
He listed it on eBay for $500, and I said, "You're a fucking idiot." And he goes, "No, trust me, it's going to sell overnight." I said, "No fucking chance." It PCs at like what $150 or something like that. The long box complete. He goes, "No, watch." Lo and behold, at like 4 a.m. that morning, it fucking sells for $500 because of this insert. Yeah, see, he's talking shit. So, but it's crazy to me, and I know Italian asked how I feel about like CIBs, but as a collector, I don't care if everything has inserts, but I know to each their own. Everybody's different. I just want the game in the box usually, um, to me, for someone to pay 3 times PC because of an insert's wild to me. But clearly, there's a demand for it because he sold it in less than 24 hours. So it's
Jeez.
just unbelievable.
Well, look, I just saw Llama just purchased a Majora's Mask and
Let's
is
go, Llama.
literally giving it away.
Llama, you're the
So
best, buddy.
so
We love
guys,
Llama. Shout out
thank
to
you so much,
Llama.
Llama. That's crazy, man. So
David,
jump in that giveaway. This is $100+ game, easily.
David, I miss you. I
So
hope you're doing well.
y'all jump in there. It's the lenticular one, and
That's
it
that's my
is
boy.
awesome. It is awesome. So thank you so much for that. That's great. Wow.
Mom is a fucking legend. We love him.
So we'll let that run for sure. But man, I'm still very early in that whole learning the inserts, but I find it very interesting.
It is very interesting.
I like watching, all the paper shows and then watching the high end shows as well, just to learn like, oh wow, that registration there is impossible. Or
Sure.
it's kind of funny. I actually had that Super Nintendo auction I did this week. I was highly unprepared, but I had to auction this shit. I had to get it out of here. So
Mhm.
like I went through a game, it was Cubert 3, and there was like a Resident Evil 3 registration card in the Cubert 3. And I was like, well, I know this doesn't belong here, but I know this is expensive because I've seen this before. And sure as shit, you know, Dimitri jumped on that and got it. I think he was looking for I saw him looking for that in another show a few weeks ago. And it was pretty funny. Yes, I could have probably pulled it out of there, but I mean, I'd already showed those pictures and whatever ran it. But dude, it's crazy. The paper world is very
It's
interesting.
wild.
I actually went through all my paper today, all of it, just to thin it out a little bit and just kind of see what was in there. And I like having it. I wouldn't say that I love organizing it. That's kind of sucks, but
It's
it
horrible.
is useful, and it does feel good if somebody's like, "Hey, man, you got a contra manual," and you'd be like, "Yeah, I got a contra manual. Here you go." But man, I used to list all those things, like put them all in the bin and stuff. That was insane.
Oh, I could imagine. I mean, and
Yeah,
we joke that I don't have manuals, but the truth is, I actually have bags and bags of manuals. I'm just way too lazy to go through them to try to pair them with the games.
yeah.
So I just like, because I'll buy lots and there'll just be a stack of them, or they're all saying we knew it, and they're literally sitting in bags. We'll show them next stream, but like, I'm just fucking lazy. Like, I just don't want to go through and pair them. It's just a waste of time
Dude,
to me.
just
So I'd rather take the hit.
yeah,
I don't
just
know. It's
run the
weird.
manuals, man. Everybody wants the bag of manuals anyway.
I know it's crazy, and when we've had some, like I've had some Genesis manuals do really well. That's Genesis is a phenomenon because I always thought just having the case and game was enough, but when you are missing a Manny, Llama's going crazy. When you're missing a Manny, it really affects the. I mean, you get basically loose value if it's missing a Manny, but when it has a Manny, you'll get CIB. So it's really crazy. But again, to each their own. I don't give a fuck about paper, but Llama, what are you doing?
Mama's buying everything. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that. He did
David's the
just buy
man.
a very, 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 very clean Mega Man 1.
Oh, that's
So
sexy.
it's
You're the best,
beautiful.
David.
So y'all enjoy that. Yeah, man, that's great. And look, get in that giveaway. We don't normally have $100+ giveaways on this channel. Can't
Llama's
really
the best.
afford that, but there's your Majora's Mask. I was looking up on the shelf because I was like, I don't even see the Majora's Mask, so I just grabbed the one off my carts here, so all good. It was kind of weird too because I sold a Snow Bros literally a couple weeks ago, and guess what? It was in the bin again today, and I know I sold it from the listing. I'm like, how is this even possible?
Right, right.
So, but it's all good. 42 seconds on that giveaway tonight. Jeff, anything you want to talk about, or any thoughts you want to get out there for everybody?
Um, I'm trying to think. I mean, we covered so much, and again, thank you so much for having me, man. This was a
Yeah.
blast. Again, I think we need more stuff like this going on. And Pookie, I hope you launch yours here soon. I know we have Nick and Austin doing the Farming Pixels podcast, but I think for our community, these things are very important. Again, just to get to just have these conversations, like you said, you and I never really talked to one another, and now I feel like we've talked for forever. So
Mhm.
I don't know, it's cool to get to know people on a personal level because I like something that Pookie says that I like is, and I keep calling him Pookie, but his name's Russ, which he already knows what I'm going to talk about as we see who won. Kershey,
Hershey,
let's go,
congrats.
let's go,
Zelda Llama, thank you so much for that. That's awesome. Can't believe you did that, but thank you so much. That's great.
Llama, you're the best. But something Pookie said, I
Badass.
mean, it might have been on your episode with him where he said, "I'm not calling a grown ass man like Greenberg 007." Like I love that, and
Yeah.
I love getting to know people again more on a personal level. Like I hung out with Kershey the other not the other day, it was like 3 weeks ago, but it's cool when you hang out in person. Like my other buddy was with us, and he's like, "So how many times have you guys hung out?" I was like, "That was the first time I ever met him," but we've done co-hosting and met on here, and so it's really cool and fun to get to know all you guys on a more personal level. So I think these things are important, and yeah. So yeah, please. I guess my only question is what's next for the Horse Talk podcast?
So we take a break around summertime. We did that last year as well. It'll come back probably October, maybe September.
Good.
We're trying to do anywhere from like 6 to 8 episodes per season. It is good to have a little bit of a break in between.
Sure.
Um, just kind of refreshes me as well on it. But no big aspirations. Will probably continue. No guarantees on that either. So what I usually do is just wait till people start asking, and then if people are like, "Hey, man, you gonna get it going again or whatever," that's kind of how season 2 started anyway.
Sure.
But I remember like I had this idea, and then I remember I texted Atomic, and I was like, "Hey, bro, do you think this is crazy? I don't know who you people are, and I want to see you, and I want to. I spend a lot of time on here, but I feel like I don't know any of the people. I feel like I know them, but I don't know them. That's
Sure.
kind of
Sure.
what happened. So to me, it was just more of an avenue of meet these guys you're buying stuff from. I think there's some really interesting
Absolutely.
people.
Absolutely.
So Sandman, we'll come back after summer, so that's the plan anyway. Unless no one wants to see it anymore. So that would probably be like October, September, October, something like that.
Sure.
But yeah, no real aspirations for it. I started doing the sponsors on there too, just because I was like, well, when you take away a night of selling that you normally sell to do a horse talk, it is nice to try to
To
sell
make money.
something.
100%.
So and here's the thing anyway, I send them full value of what they pay anyway. So it's but they don't know what they get. So that's kind of fun for me too. I get to pick out something for them
Love it.
as well. So yeah,
Love it. Love it.
that's kind of it in a nutshell. Our YouTube following is not super big because people watch on here, but if everybody does want a screenshot, shameless plug, screenshot that real quick. We would love to get some more followers
There you
on our
go.
YouTube. But it's
Go
Horse
follow,
Talk,
guys.
Game Cabin. And look, if you haven't seen any of these shows before, too, there's 14 episodes, 13, 14 episodes on there. Lots of really interesting people. And it's kind of funny to probably go back and watch the first and second one because I was so damn nervous to actually do this that
Sure.
it probably wasn't any good. Although our first episode does have the most views, so we're not trying to turn into a giant YouTube streaming thing. However, I've had people say, "Hey, I couldn't watch that night, but I did go check it out on YouTube," which was cool.
Awesome. Awesome. Love it.
So this will be there. This is actually streaming live right there, right now. So there's probably people watching on YouTube
Live
right
on
now.
YouTube.
Shout out to the YouTubers. And then it disappears for a few days, and then it comes back once I can add the intro and stuff,
Sure.
and add our sponsorships in there and stuff like that.
Right on. Right on.
So
Right on.
we got one more givey going. This givey, our first givey tonight too. I kind of missed it. Whoever won the first givey, you got a sealed Cooking Mama Cook Star for PS4. And then this givey that's going right now, you have two different Xbox Series X, Xbox One games, Grand Theft Auto 5, and the Bluey game as well for that third givey. And then obviously we talked about this when Llama sponsored this givey, so I
You're
appreciate
the man,
everything
Llama.
on that.
I think
So-
Kirsty's wanting to give away Contra, it looks like.
Can we give you the Contra? Let's see. What Contra is it?
Kirsty's the man.
Yeah, we can do whatever. I tell you what, we'll do the Contra for this instead, since that's much better than two Xbox games. So Contra is going on to Gibby 4, Gibby 3, and I will write that down. And Jeff, thanks so much for joining us tonight, man. Really fun catching up with you. Look forward to watching your shows more now that I know a little bit more about you and see your true scumbag ways when you stream.
Love it. Love it,
Cool,
love it.
man.
Well, thank you so much, Alan. I really appreciate it. This was a ton of fun.
Absolutely, man. We'll talk to you soon.
Yes.
And y'all have a good night. Everybody hang tight for that giveaway, and we'll see you on the next episode.
Thank you.